Hi, Jean from LUXE2.0, and I am here with my friend Louis Vuitton Vernis. I am in the middle of a project. I received this Bedford from a customer. Her request is to take this original color here to red sides and a black body. Kind of Christian Louis Vuitton feel, red bottoms. So I get a lot of questions on Vernis. It's kind of my jam. I love to work with it. I also hate to work with it. But sometimes we just like a challenge in life, right? So one of the big tips I have for you, everybody does this a different way. There's no right or wrong way, but this is how I do it. And this is how I have become better at avoiding getting dye where I don't want it. The Bedford has vachetta piping. And in this case, this bag is pristine. It has lovely light patina, no damage. So I'm doing the best I can to avoid getting dye where I don't want it. I choose to use yellow front tape, and the painter's tape, as far as it goes, this yellow one for me is not as sticky, and I don't want it to damage any of the surfaces I'm putting it on. So I've had some blue tape on other bags, not this one, but when I went to remove it, some of the vachetta came with it, right? So yellow tape for me. When I did the red end, which I've had pictures, I'm starting to upload them to my page as I make progress, I taped this inward. So this edge and the tape was coming towards the body of the bag. Now that I've finished that part and I want to move on to the black, I want to protect everything I've done. I don't want to get any black on this red because once that happens, I just can't remove it. I also, and I know this looks like a hot mess, I get that. I have cling wrap on here. I have tape on here that's coming off. I'm gonna tape and untape this thing. I don't know how many times, but I'll do it as much as it takes to make sure I keep it as clean as possible. I choose different methods of when I choose a bag or how I approach a bag. Let me say it that way. I always use Phoebing's leather dye. I have not tried anything else because it works for me. So maybe in the future I'll try some different kinds and see how it goes. But, if it's not broke, I'm not gonna fix it. So I am using red and black in this case, just straight colors. I'm not diluting. I'm not doing anything special to it. For application, I do prep with acetone, which is pretty much standard for everybody, I think. I am using fine tip paint brushes, and I like to start by outlining my area. So I went very slowly and carefully around the piping, even though it was taped off. And I go around first. And then in this case, because the area is not super large, I just used a paintbrush to control where I wanted it. But I also like to use cosmetic wedges, just a preference. Some people use daubers, that's fine too. I use microfiber rags. If you have any old t-shirts, whatever you want to use them. I can't reuse these for dyeing because the acetone will release the dye pigments and I don't want it to go where I don't want it to go. So you can wash them and reuse them for cleaning or other purposes, but I can't reuse them for dyeing bags. I take a lot of time in prep. That's how I try to avoid the vachetta. Am I perfect? Nope. Am I trying to be? Yep. And this has been almost 2 years I've been doing this, and I'm still learning every time I do something. And I have that goal of being as perfect as I possibly can, but that'll only come if I practice and practice and put the time in and put the hours in and keep trying different ways of doing it. And I like to share this information because I've already learned it the hard way. So if I can share it with you and it helps you while you're doing your project, then great, that makes me happy. It's what I do. I think that probably sums up how I'm doing this. When I do wipe, I guess one last little tip here. When I wipe, I don't use acetone to wipe every time. The vernis will start to break down if you use too much acetone on it. So for me, I put the dye on, and if it's pooling, I just wipe it off. At the end is when I come in with the acetone and try to get off as much of the extra color as it is. I do not seal. That is a personal thing for me. Other people are able to do it successfully, but every time I've tried a product to seal, it's become very cloudy, and that defeats the whole purpose of having shiny patent leather. So I have chosen not to do that anymore. I mean, I tried it, didn't like it. not doing it again. I wipe it off till there's very little color on the rag and then buff it, and then I call it good. I'm always trying new things to see if I can find that magic, you know, way to seal vernis without it being cloudy, but right now I haven't yet. You know, if new products come out, I'm happy to try them. I'm happy to share the information. But this is where I'm at right now in my journey. And I hope that it helps you in your journey. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will address them for you. I also am quicker to reach on my Facebook page, and that's where I list a lot of my project updates. I have a restoration group for people to share ideas or ask questions and have discussions about their projects. I hope this helps, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.